Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Liftoff.
What is up, guys? Klein here, bringing you this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys, episode number 89. 89 straight Mondays. You guys know the deal. Things are hot right now. Things are spicy right now. First things first, I've run into some issues with my dating experience. Now, we're coming off hot, but I got to talk about this, okay? So, my Hinge algorithm is destroyed. And what I mean by that is I'm being recommended women of insane ages for one reason and one reason only, and that is because I accidentally, unintentionally, matched and started talking to a 37-year-old woman. Now, you might say, how do you do this accidentally? Well, I to be completely honest with you guys, did not believe the age when I first scrolled through the profile. It seemed like a great opportunity, and to be honest, I just wanted to explore. And then I confirmed with some stories from the individual that she was in fact 37. And as a result, Hinge now believes that I am a cougar hunter. My feed is filled, quite literally filled, with 30, 40, and 50-year-old women. Yes, 50-year-old women. I got a 52-year-old woman yesterday. Now, I am afraid that I am now in a bracket, that Hinge is putting me in a bracket that I cannot escape. So the question is, do I need to make a new account? Do I need to make a new account to get back to, the sweet spot, dealing with people my age? But no, the dating experience has been a journey. Not much has come of it, and who really cares? Once again, I'm at a spot in my life where there's two sides of Hunter. There's the side of Hunter that sees the friends from high school and college living beautiful lives with families and pets and even children. Crazy to think about. Even children. And it's like, you know what? That would be fun. That'd be entertaining. That'd be fruitful. But then the other side of me, that pushes back, that says, we have a lot to do. There's no time to relax right now. You can't support a woman. She's going to get pissed off in 2 weeks because you're not replying to texts and you don't want to hang out on the weekends. In version number two of Hunter is taking over at this moment. Okay, and it seems to go back and forth. It seems to teeter-tot. I don't even know if that's a word. We're teeter-tottering. Is that a word? I'm going to say it again, and we're just going to go for it this time. We're teeter-tottering between wanting to be in a relationship and admitting to ourselves that it's not possible. And right now, the person admitting to ourselves that it's not possible is really taking over. We have a lot of work to do. A lot of things to come, and a lot of things to talk about today. An interesting piece of news. I generally don't talk about local news, but this week, something interesting has happened. And it's a hot topic in my area, specifically Texas, and that is that you can now carry a gun in Texas without a permit. Now, as far as I'm aware, you quite literally can go into any gun store, pass a background check, however long that takes, and just carry this bad boy with you wherever you go. Now, talking to some people that were uncomfortable with this, and it seems as if I should be uncomfortable with it. I do not know how to feel about this situation, and for whatever reason, I feel that I need to be frightened, that I should be scared, that I should not be okay with it, but for whatever reason, I do not care. Living in Texas now for about 5-6 months, half a year, maybe a little under, I have not seen a single gun. Not once. I've never seen someone holstering it. I've never seen someone pull one out. It doesn't even seem relevant in my life, despite I'm sure that a majority of the people, not a majority, quite a bit of people that I see every day either have a gun on them or in their proximity. I don't recognize it. Okay? It's not that, and for whatever reason, especially considering I'm in somewhat of a not metro area, right? I'm somewhat outside of the big city, so you'd expect it to be more prevalent, right? More people to have big trucks and guns, but it's not. And as a result, I just don't care. I do not care. To be quite honest with you, I thought about getting a gun. Why not? Why not? Maybe get... Now, I will note that I'm not just going to go carelessly get a gun and throw it in my glove box and leave my car unlocked. If I were to purchase a gun, I would get proper training beforehand. Right? Learn how to work this bad boy. Learn how to clean it, prep it, shoot it, handle it. I've thought about it. Now, will I do that? Probably not. I spend a majority of my time inside. I'm not going to keep a Glock 9 on my desk during podcast recordings. But it's fun to think about. It's fun to think about, and it's very on brand for the Texas life that I'm living, a life that I'm starting to warm up to. The Texas lifestyle, the Texas culture, the way things operate here. To be quite honest with you guys, where I'm living at right now, North Austin, feels like a better, more improved Omaha, Nebraska. It really does. The people here, similar to Nebraska, are very hospitable. People are very nice and friendly and generally caring. And I'm not in too crowded of an area, so it's not like people are just ignoring each other and brushing past. Oh, there is some of that. It feels a lot like an upgraded Omaha, an upgraded Lincoln, just an upgraded Nebraska. And I think there are extreme values in that type of lifestyle, especially in regards to calmness and peace. One of the biggest positives about living here currently, coming from somewhere like Scottsdale, is the perception of wealth and money. Wealth and money is not as highly valued here, so I find myself being much less materialistic than what was happening to me while I was living in Scottsdale. Now, there's positives and negatives to that in regards to what kind of culture and what kind of things you can do and what kind of lifestyle you live. But for where I'm at in life right now, North Austin is very good for the life I'm trying to live. Now, Drake's album released, and last week we had a whole rant about this, but Drake's album released, and now we have a bunch of self-indulgent, incoherent monkeys trying to stand by which album, which pool of art, personally created music is objectively better. And this is so rough to watch, guys. It's so rough to watch. You know my take. Art. The beauty of art, what makes it special, what makes it so valuable to humans is there is no objectively better pieces of work. It's subjective. It's based on your perspective. But some of these monkeys, some of these dumb humans have nothing better to do than stand by a piece of music that they enjoy and claim that they are the sentient being, all-knowing power of what good music is, and argue with each other about whose album is better, whose self-expression is better. Guys. Again, if we make absolutes, if we speak in absolutes when we're talking about art, I do lose some respect for you. I do instantly turn away from this idea that you are an open-minded individual, and a part of me is not very interested in hearing any more of your perspectives. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Art is art. Okay, if you don't like the music, go listen to someone else, you fucking jabroni. Okay, no one cares. No one cares. I like that music. I don't care if you like that music. I'm going to listen to this music in my earbuds and enjoy myself. You can listen to whatever you want, bud. Okay, that's really it. That's really it. Stop trying to push your music preferences on other people. What is this like? Pushing your music preferences to other people. I'll think about it. I don't have a good analogy, but it needs to be something ridiculous to shine a light on how stupid some of these people are. Now, let's talk about this while we're on the topic. Drake's album, it's a specific vibe. Okay? Now, I don't want to say I'm a fan or I personally dislike it or I personally like it. It's just a vibe. Okay? It's the type of album I listen to, or I did listen to, when I go sit out by the pool for like an hour or two. Right, very laid back. You're not going to be turning on Certified Lover Boy on the way to the gym, and that's okay. That's okay. Who is to tell Drake what kind of vibe he wants to put out on an album? It's how he's feeling right now. Okay, and if you don't like it, move on. Go listen to 21 Savage, bud. Okay, get it together, guys. We got to get it together. This is unacceptable. This creative judgment has gone too far, people. You are too bored. Get more hobbies. Okay? If you're trying to argue over what piece of creative work is objectively better. Now, speaking about art, creativity, value, opinions, this week we are talking on NFTs. Now, considering a majority of the audience is relatively young, I don't think that we have as many NFT haters as maybe some other communities do. But I want to talk about why NFTs aren't stupid. Now, I'm sure some of us are like, ooh, NFTs, they're hyped up, they're dumb, it's a craze, it's like Bitcoin, all these, it's just hype. Okay. Now, I want to give you guys my perspective on NFTs, and I think it's valuable. I think it's correct. Of course I do, but I really stand behind this. Here is the main statement. NFTs are not stupid. Humans are. Now let's step away from the idea of NFTs for a second and just talk about the idea of art. How hilarious. Let's pull back the camera lens. We like to do this here. Pull back the camera lens, look at humans on Earth and how they look at art. The first question I would ask approaching humanity looking at these pieces of work is, how do they value this art? Like, how do they value this painting? Why is this painting so good? Why do all these humans want to spend millions of dollars on this painting? And the answer would be hype, right? Who decides when a painting is good? A art gallery buys a banana that's taped to the wall, and all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my God, that's art. Holy shit. The rich people of society, the people with the money, decide what we are all going to want to spend our money on. If a billionaire buys a banana taped to a wall for $60 million, then other people want to, that's valuable. It's what the rich people have, right? Rich people have bananas taped to their walls. Obviously, this is an extreme example, but there is no, again, it's all subjective, guys, and it's so floaty. Now, this is the problem when people look at NFTs like, I don't understand. I don't understand. What, you can't even hold it. They're just pieces of digital art. Like, I could just take a photo of it and put it on my computer. Yeah, you could also get a fake Mona Lisa and hang it in your house. But you're not going to. Okay, it's about the hype, and it's this weird infatuation that humans have with scarcity. Having things that other people can't get or don't have. And the more scarce an object is, the more expensive it is. There's an NFT from a legitimate artist that sold for $70 million. Beeple's 5,000 Days sold for $70 million. This isn't silly. It's just like buying the Mona Lisa. Hey, we live in a digital world, guys. A majority of your life is in the digital world, whether you like to admit it or not. Even my grandma that scrolls through Facebook every Saturday for 5 hours and talks about her political opinions. I'm not really sure she does that, but a majority of grandparents do that. I don't think that's too far out. A majority of our lives are digital, guys, and the future is digital. Whether you like to admit it or not, things are going to get crazy, and I truly believe that NFTs are the most legitimate thing that's come out of technology in years. Like, this stuff is legit. Okay, now I'm not saying you need to get into NFTs and start buying them up and, follow NFT guide to investing. No. But what I am saying is, let's not be too judgmental or too nearsighted when people bring up the idea of NFTs. I don't get it. Yeah, there's nothing to get, guys. Humans are dumb. We buy things that are rare because it makes us feel special. Whether it is a banana on a wall, a painting for $70 million, or a digital image. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how many of them are created and whether or not rich people want to buy them. Okay? And that is quite honestly the truth. People are looking at these saying, it's a scam. It's a scam. It's all hype. It's all these people. No, it's not a scam. If you think NFTs are a scam, you think art is a scam. And yeah, it's wonky. It's wonky. Again, all it takes is for an art gallery to say, "Ooh, let's buy that for $2 million." And then all of a sudden the world's like, "Whoa, this stuff's valuable." All right, let's all spend our money on it, invest in it. Now, the interesting thing about NFTs that I don't necessarily agree with, different than other art, is that they're being paraded. Owners of NFTs are putting them as their profile pic. Right? You don't see people buying the Mona Lisa, taking a picture of it and making it their profile picture. So this is definitely inflating the hype, right? All these well-known influencers and content creators and business owners have CryptoPunks as their profile pic. So it drives up the price, right? It drives up interest. Not only did I buy it, but here you go. And it's a smart move by them. Absolutely, making their investment more relevant. If it isn't an investment, most of these are, rather than a collector. Now that it gets a little fishy. It's a little weird now because it's kind of like buying crypto and then crypto like Bitcoin and then boosting them like a pump and dump, right? Where hey, everybody go buy this. All my community members go buy Bitcoin, go buy Dogecoin. And as everyone buys, you just sell, and everybody loses money. I don't think it's exactly like that. I hear a lot of people online comparing the current crypto or the NFT market to pump and dumps, and I think that's incorrect. Now, there are some fishy aspects. Again, they're parading their purchases, which is not the dumbest thing to do, right? It does improve the value of investment. But NFTs are just as legit as any art out there, and all art quite literally is hype by the wealthy. If a wealthy person wants to buy it and values it, we go, ooh, that's valuable to me, and we push forward. That's really it. So I am exploring the market, okay? Not because I want to get rich, not because I expect to get rich, but I want to get involved in it. I do really think NFTs are a huge part of the future, and I want to buy a collectible. I do, and if it increases in price, sure. I'll talk more about this in the future because, to be quite honest with you guys, I got my finger on the pulse of a crazy new collection of art coming out. And some big names are involved in it. And I'm kind of one of the first people in. And I know this sounds like I'm like a pyramid scheme seller. I don't want to get anybody else involved because I don't want people to spend their money the wrong way, or I don't want to become a financial advisor. But I'll keep you guys updated. Once the things become a little more legit, and if things go as I believe they will, we'll definitely have a lot to talk about on the subject. But bottom line, NFTs are legit, guys. Now, compared to a lot of things, yeah, it's weird. It's fishy, shady, but it's art. And the world of art is wonky. The world of art and creativity is all hype, interest, and guidance by the wealthy people. And that's just the goddamn truth, guys. That's just the goddamn truth. Now, let's talk about life and happiness, the ever so popular topics on this podcast, okay? Now, things have been interesting for me, right? I went from a very terrible and struggling lifestyle to a lifestyle I would dream about. Complete creative control. I'm my own boss. I'm getting essentially day to day is a transition between my passions and trying to progress these passions and monetize them. But here's the interesting thing about this. My levels of worry, the attention that I put to the problems or the main focuses in my life has not changed. And what's interesting about this is what I'm observing in myself is there seems to be a constant, let's say, units of energy that Hunter has. I have 100 units of energy that I can choose to allocate at any point in my life, whether I'm 17, 21, 35, at which I spread between leisure, working out, and then one of these sections is worrying, okay? And what I've observed over the last year of this roller coaster ride of life, of joys and sadness and struggles, is that the amount of energy that I allocate to worry always stays the same. And I think this holds extreme value because I think this is the case for everyone. Yeah, my life is a lot better, but I don't notice it that much every day. Okay, my worries that were money and struggling to wake up to get to work in the morning are now worries that are focused at progressing my passions and numbers that I'm getting on the podcast and numbers that I'm getting on YouTube. Now my life got better and my worries are less defining. My worries are less severe, right? They're not life-threatening as they were or as dangerous as they were. But the energy I allocate to those worries is the exact same. And to be quite honest with you guys, they feel the exact same. Life does not feel different. And here is what I am constantly trying to remind myself, and I think holds extremely valuable for other people that are chasing certain goals or aspirations with the idea that they will fix everything. I don't think there's any escaping this, guys. And to go quite further, I'll say there is no escaping this. I am almost confident there's no escaping this. You see it in people that get extremely wealthy and are unable to obtain this happiness that they suspect because there's always this duality. There's always highs and lows. Right now, I have to constantly remind myself of the past because everything's relative, right? My last 3 weeks, the biggest worry has been progression in my podcast or progression in my YouTube channel. Are my thumbnails right? Are my titles good? Is this going to work? Am I wasting my time? And now for you, this might be different, right? Your worries are probably vastly different because you're not as involved in the creative space. But for you, maybe it's, once I get this house, holy shit, my life is going to get so much better. Like my worries will disappear. Nope. They're going to get replaced. I promise you. They might be less severe. But in my experience, this doesn't change much. This doesn't reduce the amount of stress you have when you think about said worry. Now, I don't know what to do about this, and I don't know if it's really an issue. For example, last night I had a really drowned out, boring, rough night. I didn't have a lot to do. I didn't hang out with friends. I didn't talk to many people. I tried, but nothing worked out. Everyone was busy. And as a result, I was kind of sitting there and I was just sad. It was rough. And I was beating myself up. I was being very negative. But then it's like, when I wake up for work Monday morning, I'm not afraid of what could happen or terrified of having to work for 5 hours for dog shit wages. Why am I like this? Why can't I just be appreciative? And the answer is because things are relative. And unfortunately, my brain will not allow me to be satisfied at any time, right? Especially right now where I have goals and things that I want to achieve. I think it's very beneficial. But at the same time, it does come with its negatives. So my point here is that I am getting a shining beacon of relativity in my life right now, where my life has went from total dog shit, to a prosperous and perfect setting for me to chase my passions. It's not this glorious, beautiful world that I wake up in every day still. There's the main message here is there's no escaping the human experience, and I can give it to you firsthand. I've made one of the most dramatic life switches you can make. Going from terrible pay for a job that you don't really enjoy, coming home to things that you're not really excited about, or things that you're not motivated to do because you're tired of your shitty job that you got home from, going from that to working 3 to 4 hours a day, waking up, doing whatever the hell I want to, pursuing passions, getting paid incredibly well, And it's still not there for me yet. Now, life is good. I don't want this to come off as negative or anything or like some type of bad mental state. Life's good. I'm happy as shit, guys. And I'm pursuing what I love or what I want to succeed at in the future. And I don't think it gets much better than this. But that doesn't really mean that I'm happy with where we're at. You know, we got to keep pushing forward. Where is the next improvement? How can we get better? One thing I am extremely proud of, guys, is that I can talk to someone that hasn't seen me in a year or two, and it will almost be shell-shocking how different I am as a person and how much my life has changed. There was always something. Okay. My question is, are you the type of person that next time I talk to you, there is always going to be something that you're doing that is wacky and wild and just out of the box, that I can guarantee every single time I talk to you, something massive has changed? Now, I don't see this from my perspective, and I don't think about this regularly as I live my life, but I can confidently conclude that I am this type of person based on other people's experiences of me, people's feedback to me. And I am very proud of this. And I think this is a direct result of me just being a psychotic, hungry little freaking nerd all the time. So I'm proud of this. Again, I want to make sure that when I go on these tangents, people aren't like, wow, this guy's really egotistical and full of himself. No, I don't think I'm any better of a person than you are. And when we die, it doesn't really matter. This is completely irrelevant. Okay? When I fall off the face of the earth, no one's going to remember. I'm not going to have my name in stone. I'm not a special person. That was a little dramatic, but I need to get this point across. My point in saying going on these tangents is to try to give people value, right? To give you the entire path, the framework, the mindset, the flow, and for you to pick and choose if there's any value there for you. I think there is just extreme value in being very critical of oneself, being very difficult to please, and constantly trying to improve in whatever facet that is of your person. Constantly trying to fail and put yourself out there. And it's not an easy life. Okay, it's not. For example, last night I was sitting at my desk in a rough spot, a mental rut, if you will. A little bit lonely, a little bit bored. And I got into this phase of where I was really critical of the content that I've been making. Not only was I really critical, but I started to second guess. It was like an extreme hot seat. Okay? My mind was in a weak spot. And I was just thinking about for example, the thumbnails I create and how weird it is. And some of the content I'm making on YouTube right now. And how strange it is that I do that. Why the hell am I making this content? And this isn't for the podcast. This is for another project I'm doing that I don't really want to talk about too early on here. And it's just like, is this going to work? And then I was second guessing my techniques. This is probably terrible. You know, talking through it and just like kind of destroying all the confidence that I have like Monday to Friday and getting in a spot where it's just the most critical, most questioning phase you could be in. And again, those are really rough nights. Last night was rough, but I think it's extremely beneficial to move forward no matter the project you're on. Now, will it lead to success, guys? I hope so. I hope more than anything that in 5-10 years, we can look back at this podcast and be like, wow, there's some extreme value in there. Obviously, there's value because Hunter's really successful now. He has a good podcast, or he has a YouTube channel, or he has a crazy business. The problem is right now, or the biggest worry for me, and I'm sure a lot of you, is I don't know if my theory works. Okay, my theory of life. This theory I've crafted up by being extremely self-critical and trying to learn from other people that have succeeded and create my own version of it. I don't know if it works. God, I hope so. But because I don't know if it works, I'm constantly trying to check up on myself. How I approach life, how I'm approaching my passions. Is it right? Because goddamn, it would suck to get to the end of this adventure and just look back on a mountain full of failures and be like, damn, I never figured it out. Now, at least we tried. It's better than not trying at all. So I will say that. It's not all too bad. But there is that, damn, I really hope we can figure this out. Now, when I talk about these creative endeavors, I'm not generally, I know I reference the podcast quite a bit, but I'm not really looking for any of these growth mechanisms or any of this success on the podcast itself. This is how I look at the podcast. And I'll end on here today. This has been a weird episode. This is how I look at the podcast. The podcast is essentially a tap, you ever like seen someone pull syrup out of a tree? That's essentially what it is for my brain. Just sharing opinions, the journey of life, being very transparent with everything. And there's no clickbait here. There's no methods of growth. And the growth of this podcast is very slow. And that's completely okay. I'm not doing this as a money grab. I'm not suspecting to make money from this anytime soon, nor do I really want to. This is a collection of Hunter Klein in a community that is very adamant about growth and developing. Now, when will this podcast become useful? It will become useful it'll become useful in the eyes of growth if I ever have success in another endeavor. Let's say the YouTube content I'm making, which is very, very focused at growth, completely focused at growth. Let's say that it pops off. Okay, let's say that it booms up in popularity. At that point, let's say an interested person is like, wow, I really like Hunter's content. What else does he make? Then they will find Interplanetary Monkeys, and they will find 200 episodes of it, 300 episodes of it, depending on when said event happens. And this is essentially like, here is who I am. Okay, at that point, then the podcast becomes a growth mechanism. But right now, it is just purely a small community of people trying to get better, being very transparent, putting it out there. I'm essentially lighting myself on fire, and people are coming to watch burn. And that's how I look at the podcast. And things have been great recently, guys. I've had energy on the podcast. I've been passionate to get on, and feedback from the community is crazy right now. Crazy right now, whether it be friends, people I don't know. Messages aren't coming in the thousands. Okay, let's be very clear there. But the 5-10 messages I get on certain weeks is crazy, guys. It's so beautiful to see. Right? And that kind of stuff keeps me going. Okay, that's why we're here. And that is why we keep doing this, and why we have hopes for the future, right? It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Weird episode, guys, but, that's just who we are, right? That's just who we are. I need to get off. I need to go work on trying to fix my Hinge algorithm so I can start getting with people my age. What else do I need to do? I might need to go buy a gun. We'll see. Who knows? And I need to go explore more NFTs. That's like literally everything that's going on in my life right now. It's that simple. All right. I hope you guys are doing well. If you're going through a rut, battle through. You'll get out of it. And if you're high on life, enjoy it. It will pass. And regardless of where you are, find the beauties, guys. I know it's hard sometimes, but find the beauties. It doesn't matter where you are. You're always going to have shitty worries, things that plague your mind, and you're always going to have beautiful experiences. So just enjoy it, all right? Alrighty, guys. This is Hunter Klein, and that's it for this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys. I'll see you next week. Peace, peace.